Man, this was, again, our schedule has just been, it's just tough matchup after tough matchup. DBU was at the Crossover last weekend with us. They won silver, so they had a great weekend. I think they finished 3-1 last weekend. Angelo was at the Colorado Mesa tournament. They had a big win over Mesa, last weekend. So they were coming out. They're 10-1. They were at the time. I think they were 8-1 before this weekend, but they were feeling good. They played fresh. They played loose. They were playing like they didn't have anything to lose. We kind of played like we had a whole bunch of stuff to lose. So we couldn't get anything going defensively against Angelo. Our defensive numbers were the worst they've been all season. Angelo had a good scout on us, and offensively we were great. Both teams were great offensively. If you look, I think we hit 287 as a team. That's a pretty good match to swing offensively if you look at just historical statistics. And they were in the 300 range somewhere, but that's pretty amazing for both teams to hit it at such a high clip. But they didn't have a lot of digs either. They had more than we did. But it's that match. It's a learning. We're gonna have to learn and take a lot of things away from it. We got to start quicker. We've gotten off to some slow starts this season that send us into four sets and 5 sets that. Those things will make a difference in November when you're at the end of your season, when we're talking about fatigue and just freshness of legs and things like that. But we had a good bounce back win against DBU on Saturday. Also a good team. I mean, Angelo's ranked 21st. I think DBU was ranked 20th, or vice versa. They're at 20 and 21. We're playing at DBU. There's a healthy rival there. And we still didn't play our best volleyball, but we cleaned up some things that we needed to clean up from Friday night. And I was just really excited about the resiliency of our team because they got back to how we were playing Saturday of the premiere. They were playing loose. They were having a good time. They were just making plays, having fun with it, welcoming the environment in there because DBU makes it pretty tough for us to play over there. So overall, just walking away with the win. Splitting this weekend is still good. It doesn't impact our conference record just because they're preseason strength of schedule matches, but it's a good precursor probably to what's going to look like on October the 4th with Angelo here at the box, and then further down the road with DBU, and then of course conference tournament.
Has this team had any maybe fatigue? You start the year with 2 barn burner tournaments and then 2 really good teams this last weekend. Do they need to get some rest as you go into conference?
We have not had 17 healthy kids in our gym the whole year. So we started off with kids out with injuries at first day of preseason. So we still have yet to have 17 healthy bodies in our gym, which makes a difference when you're working on your scouting reports and your scout side, and it makes a difference with depth a little bit when you get down to it. But fatigue, I would say yes and no. We had a lovely bus event where we didn't have AC the first 2.5 hours of our trip on Thursday, so that was awesome. Building some tolerance to that, but we got it handled. And I don't know if there was a fatigue thing so much as just, man, it is hard. It is really hard to show up and play your best every single day, and you're playing good teams. You're playing really good teams. You're not playing average teams. We've played really, really good teams. So I think that maybe there's the mental fatigue versus the physical of really having to put some healthy pressure on your shoulders to go out and execute really at a really high level. So I would say that if there is a fatigue, it's probably more on the mental side.
Conference play opened up this week with Western and then UTPB. How do you like where your team's at as you guys start conference?
I think we're great. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start. Yes, we've lost some matches, but we don't call those losses in our locker room. We call them learns. Let's learn from this. So I feel like we've had some really good learning experiences over the last 3 weeks that really have you can't create those pressure situations in tournaments where you're playing some average teams, and we've been tested so much and so often up to this point that I hope that I know it's going to carry over, and we're going to probably get out to a sprint here is the goal. And don't get me wrong, Western New Mexico has some really good players on their team. They're building up some momentum on their side of starting conference as well. And then UTPB, they're I think second in the league right now, and I think they have one loss on the season, so that's a confident team that you're going to play on Saturday. So just making sure that we're still taking our scouts seriously, and this is a longer trip. We leave out on Wednesday. You've got that Thursday, Saturday split, which is not real normal with the volleyball side of things. So we've got a lot more travel than what we're used to this weekend, and just a longer trip. So I feel really good about going into it, though. I think that hitting that on the road is probably going to be solid for us. That way we're refining the things that we need to refine to open up with Angelo on October 4th.
What's the biggest takeaway your team can take from these learning experiences?
You know, something that we've been talking about in our timeouts is it's never too late to start doing the right thing. So even if we've, skill wise, defensively on defense, we haven't been we didn't dig a lot of balls this weekend. You can look at the hitting efficiencies for the other team. DBU hit at a pretty decent level. Angelo for sure hit at a decent level. We've got to dig some more balls. So we've just been preaching like, hey, I don't care what the score is. If you want to start digging balls and there's 5 points left, let's get it done. Let's start chipping away at the things that we need to chip away at. It's not too late, and we can take that momentum into the week of practice.
When you talk about digs, in my mind, maybe I'm wrong, it's really just the heart to get to it. So how do you get the team to get more digs?
Yeah, I mean, right now I think we're doing a little bit of guessing on defense. We're forgetting hitter tendencies, and we're just staying a little undisciplined with where our movements are in a defensive read position, and we just need to trust our practice and trust the skill. We don't need to do anything extra. We just need to settle in, and if you follow the scouting report, most of these hitters are going to hit where you told your team they were going to hit. So just trying to simplify things a little bit. I think we got a little chaotic against Angelo where we had big splits in our block. When you have big splits in the block, it's really hard for the defense to read and make plays against athletic hitters. And so just preaching that it's not too late to start doing the right thing. It has helped our kids stay in a positive mentality of, okay, we're not doing great in this area, but let's chip away and start making some progress towards it.
With you being on the road a lot recently and going back on the road this weekend, has that given your team a lot of time to kind of just bond together and not worry about
For
kind
sure.
of the stress here?
There's no shortage of bonding events on our road trips. So there's a lot of stories we could tell you up to this point that we'll just keep inside the vault. But yeah, when you're spending that amount of time on the road with people, you're going to see their best, but you're also going to see their worst too. Because not everybody's a morning person. Not everybody's wants to talk after a match. I don't want to talk after a match. And certainly, I don't want to talk after an Angelo loss. So. But yeah, they're a great group of girls. They're a lot of fun. They're coming together, and you do need that time on the road to just continue building that chemistry with the newbies and the new coaches and such. So it's been good.
How do you think that chemistry is going to help your team improve as the season progresses?
Man, the more trust that you can build with your team, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to want to take those kids into battle with you when it gets down to the wire in November.